Okay, so hello everyone. Today is April the 1st, April Fool's Day. And now, has anybody did any April Fooling, or has anybody been April Fooled today?
No.
Nope, me either. Uh-uh. I thought about it earlier and I said I could April Fool somebody, but I think I went back to sleep.
Oh.
So what are all y'all, that might happen at some point in time during our session today. We'll see. But anyway, today we are going to discuss angels, and we're going to be discussing the hierarchy of angels. Would anyone like to begin in prayer? I'm gonna start calling on somebody. Everybody can't be quiet all the time.
Okay.
And y'all just laugh and say okay, and still didn't. Oh, y'all April fooling me.
Yes.
I'm in the house. I can start us off.
Thank you.
Again, Heavenly Father, first and foremost, thank you for allowing us to come together. Allow us to congregate to understand the knowledge that we are to understand where your creation has come from, not only from a physical point, but from a metaphysical point. We ask you to guide us through these positive and negative vibes to understand and be able to use them when we step out with our armor on. With all these things we pray. Peace and blessings.
Amen. Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, like today we're going to be discussing the hierarchy of angels. We're going to continue in our let me see, how do I do this? Okay, there we go. We're going to continue in our session of the hierarchy of angels. So this is one video. I figure this video has two parts. I think that we can listen to the first part to have a discussion, listen to the second part and discuss that too. I don't think either parts are over like 30 minutes. So, okay, here we go.
Sleep Number smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Visit sleepnumber.com to shop now.
I'm trying to figure out what happened. The real trick of it is figure out why. I think this is
right. There we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mythology Explained. In today's video, we're going to discuss the angelic hierarchy as reckoned by Pseudo-Dionysius, a 6th century Christian theologian who wrote several seminal treatises. His account of the angelic hierarchy has remained influential for hundreds of years, even into contemporary times. The hierarchy he developed comprises 9 angelic choirs, 9 stratifications organized based on their proximity to God's throne. These 9 choirs are grouped into 3 triads, meaning 3 groups of 3. The number 3 is significant because it reflects the Holy Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Choirs that are closer to earth are further away from God's throne, and vice versa. For example, the Archangel Choir is ranked 2nd lowest because of its nearness to earth. From here, we're going to look at each choir, bottom to top, working from those most earthly to those most heavenly. Let's get into it. In the 3rd triad, we have angels, which are our first entry, followed by archangels and principalities. The bottom of the celestial hierarchy, angels, ordinary angels, if there is such a thing, account for the 9th and final choir, meaning they are closest to earth and farthest away from God's throne. Indeed, more than anything else, the celestial hierarchy is a positional hierarchy. Because of this, the upper echelons are mostly removed from earthly matters, and the lower echelons are dedicated to earthly matters, angels most of all. Angels, like all the other choirs, are entities of pure spirit and exist to carry out God's will. Chief among their responsibilities are acting as the protectors of humanity and as the messengers that carry the word of God to the mortal plane. As the choir closest to humanity, guardian angels are selected from among them to watch over people, but also places like churches, towns, and even countries. As the messengers of God, they may bring blessed tidings, such as the birth of Christ, or dark portents, such as the looming destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. As agents of the divine, they may encourage people towards the light, helping them to endure pain in all its forms and resist the temptation of sin. And as the wielders of unfathomable power bestowed on them by God, they may reveal the true potency within them, like when one angel single-handedly annihilated an Assyrian army, eradicating 185,000 soldiers. At number 8 we have archangels. There's a lot of confusion around archangels, because there's the choir of archangels, and there's archangel, the catch-all term used when referring to higher-ranked angels, here meaning any angel of higher standing than the regular angels we discussed in the previous entry. The Archangel Michael really exemplifies why this choir is the most confounding. Michael is commonly said to be the leader of the archangels, being named the Great Captain, the leader of the heavenly hosts, and one of the chief princes. Having such an important angel ranked so low doesn't really compute, and the same can be said for several others, too, like the Archangel Gabriel. These issues in large part can be attributed to the evolution of the angelic hierarchy. Originally, there were only two classifications, that of angel and that of archangel, but over time, the hierarchy became more nuanced as newer frameworks emerged, like the one put forward by Dionysius, eventually comprising 9 choirs instead of only 2 categories. Because of the close association with humanity, archangels were thought, by extension, to be nearer Earth and thus farther away from God's throne, earning them a lower rank. And because angels like Michael and Gabriel were already known as archangels, they became grouped into this lower tier. Archangels are similar to angels, but they are more powerful and have seniority. Their primary purpose is to carry out the will of God as it pertains to humanity. Their love, compassion, and power, as bestowed by God, are incalculable, and they use their strength and goodness towards the betterment of mankind. Their number is a subject of some debate, but most versions have it at 7, a number that is substantiated in the New Testament. Then I saw the 7 angels who stand before God. Up next we have the principalities. Also called princedoms and princes, principalities are the stewards of geographic areas, the whole gamut, from nation-states to backwater villages, and the protectors of leaders, be they royal, religious, or political. In this way, they are similar to guardian angels, who are assigned to every place and person, but theologians and angelologists have posited clear differences, such as the principalities being more administrative and having greater power, more likely to be granted permission to directly involve themselves in what transpires on earth. Encouraging religion through prayer and regulating politics through the guiding of thought are 2 other areas that may be within their sphere of influence. In the second triad we have powers, which are our next entry, followed by virtues and dominations. Also called the authorities, potentates, and forces, the powers, as described by Dionysius, comprise the choir most responsible for thwarting hell's machinations. They are the force that counteract the demons that relentlessly endeavor to pull the world into darkness. They defend creation against the power of evil, helping to maintain the cosmic order through equilibrium. They also keep watch on the heavenly paths, thereby policing the passengers that connect heaven and earth, and involve themselves on the level of the individual, supporting people so that they resist evil and embrace God. Their colors are green and gold, and their symbol is the flaming sword. Up next we have the virtues. In purview, the virtues are said to be concerned with both earth and sky, overseeing the elements of the world and overseeing celestial phenomena, such as the movement of the sun, the moon, and the stars, ensuring they all continue on their appointed paths. On Earth, they act as the conductors of nature's symphony, ensuring that Earth's powers, rain, wind, snow, etc., are in balance, thus safeguarding nature itself. Other areas included in their sphere of influence are miracles, endowing the mortal heart with grace and valor, giving encouragement towards God's path, and fortifying against the difficulties of life's crucible, like hardship, suffering, and temptation. At number 4 we have the dominations. Also called the dominions, the lords, and in Hebrew the hashmalim, the dominations, according to Dionysius, are responsible for managing the activities of the angels, thereby manifesting the will of God through the power of administration.
Web design, e-commerce, online advertising, SEO, and more. Web.com. One stop, all done.
This game, you're not ready for it.
They didn't involve themselves directly in what transpired on Earth, so seldom were they seen by humans. But despite operating behind the scenes, they were instrumental in maintaining the cosmic order. They manage minor aspects of creation, and one of the main tools at their disposal in seeing to this responsibility is delegating tasks to lower-tier choirs. They garb themselves in green and gold, and the sword and scepter are their symbols. It is thought that the dominations received their instruction from yet higher-ranked choirs, either the thrones or the cherubim. In the first triad we have thrones, which are our next entry, followed by cherubim and seraphim. According to Thomas Aquinas, a priest and incredibly influential philosopher and theologian who lived during the 13th century, the thrones were responsible for contemplating divine judgment, which included the solemn duty of seeing to God's justice. As one of the three choirs in the first triad, their power and purity most closely resembled those of God. But despite being paragons of God's grace, a profound humbleness fills them, a quality that allows for the perfect dispensation of justice, as they have flawless objectivity and are never compromised by pride or ambition. In some Jewish traditions, the thrones are described as either the chariots or the wheels of the chariots on which the throne of God resides. This can be seen by a description given in the book of Ezekiel in the Old Testament. Here it is. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like chrysolite, and all four looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. Their rims were high and awesome, and all four rims were full of eyes all around. You'll notice that everything from here is covered in eyes. It's a feature symbolic of profound wisdom and knowledge. At number 2 we have the cherubim. The cherubim first appear in the Old Testament after Adam and Eve are banished from the Garden of Eden. They're placed at the east of Eden with the flaming sword to guard the tree of life. With only the seraphim closer to God's throne, the cherubim, who are said to possess incalculable knowledge and wisdom, are among the most exalted and majestic within the angelic hierarchy. They embody God's potency, sovereignty, and goodness, are incarnations of light and glory, and are the celestial chroniclers, superlative in knowledge and the keeping of records. Their description is given in the book of Ezekiel. Here it is. In appearance their form was that of a man, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, their feet were like those of a calf, and gleamed like burnished bronze. Their faces looked like this. Each of the 4 had the face of a man, and on the right side each had the face of a lion, and on the left the face of an ox. Each also had the face of an eagle. It is thought that the cherubim were inspired by either Assyrian or Akkadian art and myth. For those cultures, it was common to place bestial guardians at the entrances of palaces and temples, winged creatures amalgamating features from several animals, including leonine faces and the bodies of bulls, sphinxes, or eagles. In Christianity, their main responsibility was to extol God, singing his praises for all the heavens. In occult lore, the responsibility of driving the Lord's chariot and bearing his throne were ascribed to them. Our top spot, the choir closest to God, goes to the seraphim. Of all those in the service of God, none are closer to the divine throne than the seraphim. This is made clear by their main responsibility, which is to constantly circle the Lord's divine throne, endlessly chanting, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The entire earth is full of his glory." In appearance, the seraphim are described as having 6 wings, 2 to cover their faces, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 for flight. They are covered in eyes, and they are usually depicted with red wings, symbolizing fire, but not the sort that gives pain, instead representing the ever-burning power of love and redemption. They seldom feature in the Bible, only appearing by name in the book of Isaiah when they place a burning coal on Isaiah's lips to purify him. In the Book of Enoch, an ancient religious text considered to be non-canonical by most denominations underneath the Abrahamic religion's umbrella, the seraphim are described as having 16 faces, 4 for each cardinal direction, and that they radiate a light so brilliant that even the lower choirs couldn't look upon them. Many angels have been asserted as a leader of this choir, including Metatron, Michael, Seraphiel, and Satan pre-fall. And that's it for this video. If you enjoy the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. As always, leave your video suggestions down below.
Okay. So what do y'all think?
Oh, what I gathered from that is the cherubim are the ones that are closest to God. I got kind of confused because I was trying to take notes and listen, and I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So
Sure you can.
no, I got to be in the here and now, and to be in the here and now, you can't do all the things at one time. But what I got from that is the cherubim are angels, but they are the highest rank of angels. Do they have names?
Actually, I think it's the cherubim. The cherubim are the next, like number 2s. Let me and I got my list here. Andre, did you write them all down? I got my list somewhere, but I don't have it right now.
No, I wasn't writing them down. I was actually
Okay,
listening.
well, I have it written down, and I'll let y'all know where, in a minute, as soon as I find it. But anyway, yeah, because it's the but go ahead, Harry, out while I'm looking for the thing. Oh, were you finished?
Yeah, I was finished.
Okay. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. So yes, it's the order of them going from 1 to 9, because he did it from 9 to 1. From 1 to 9 is the seraphim, and that's the one that's closest to God. The seraphim. There's a song about it anyway in the Catholic Church. It's seraphim and his cherubim sing. Then he talked about so seraphim is the first, cherubim is the second, thrones are the third, 4 is dominions, 5 is virtues, 6 are powers, 7 are principalities, 8 are archangels, and 9 are angels. Okay. So any other comments about what we saw in the video?
Can you run them by us again?
Yes. Okay, he did it from 9 to from the human to the divine, but in the book I'm going to read it from the divine to the human. Okay. So number 1 is seraphim. You need me to spell it?
Yes.
SERAPHIM. SERAPHIM. That's seraphim. The second one is the cherubim, and that's CHERUBIM. Cherubim.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 3 are thrones. 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 Number 4 are dominions. DOMINIONS. Number 5 is virtues.
Is that plural?
Yes. Everything is plural after thrones.
Okay.
Virtues of VIRTUES. Number 6 is powers. POWERS. Number 7 is principalities. 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 Number 8 are archangels. ARCHANGELS. And number 9 are angels. ANGELS.
Thank you.
Andre, you were about to say something?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Harriet.
no. Okay. The question slipped my mind. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, the question is, what did y'all get from the video? So that's the question. Okay. So how about you, Andre? What did you get from the video?
Well, it was interesting to hear as far as the way that the hierarchy was broken down from both ways, from the way you just broke it up from 1 to 9 all the way down to from 9 to 1. That was really cool to understand how the heavenly bodies work on that point of view. I also kept thinking of it from the history of it was it reminded me so much of a chessboard, as well as it reminded me of how tarot cards work as well on the hierarchies. So it just kind of pushed me to, it kind of put me in that point of view of once again of balance and of upper and lower.
Oh, no. Oh, that's just wise y'all in the back.
Oh, okay. Were you done, Andre?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a question. Are angels a part of any other religious orders, such as the Hindus, the Buddhas?
As far as what I could see, yes.
Or Islam?
But I think that usually angels are kind of like, from what I understand, I haven't found anything that is as descriptive, except for through Christianity.
Okay.
Usually in Hinduism, their angels and their gods are kind of like the same. So I guess, they would probably be calling them, I guess maybe the lesser god would be considered an angel, but they're kind of, from my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that
and as far as
a lot of cultures have angels. Yeah.
And as far as Islam, the same angels that we're speaking of now are the same angels that are that we're speaking of. It's a religion,
Right, Islam is also Abrahamic.
Okay.
Yeah. And origin.
So Michael is Michael had visions with Abraham, Jesus's tale is in the Quran. It's just a different point of view. But yeah,
Because
so
I mean, you know, it was
as well as jinn is in Islam as well, which
oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. But the jinn are more so demons. They're not necessarily angels, correct?
yeah, but they're not
Although
demons,
demons
yeah.
are angels.
Would they be?
They're just they're entities that it's just that they're made of fire. They kind of have a free will to do. They kind of in between. So it's kind of like the jinn are, they're kind of in between,
Okay.
but they're made
Oh,
of fire.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, this was saying that the seraphim were made of fire.
yes, see connections, so there's so many, it made they're angels and pretty much however you look at it.
Yeah, because all demons are angels. So, there's no sense to, separate the category. They just, demons are just considered as fallen angels in the Western tradition, in Christians anyway, that I know of. Now, I do know that, and we're going to be talking about demons next time. Right now we're just basically talking about the hierarchy of the angels. Okay. But I know that in some cultures, demons are demons. I mean, they start off as demons. They didn't fall from one state to another state. That's how they started off as.
Yeah, and I think also that's how the jinn are when you're speaking of Abrahamic religion. They were just there anyways. Yeah, God said, "Let there be light" and all that, but they were just there anyways.
Well, one of the things that I got, one of the things that I got from the video was, Dionysius, who is, it says here in the book, Dionysius was a disciple of Paul, St. Paul. So I'm always interested in, how did he get the information? Where did he get it from?
Paul or now Dionysius, that's an angel?
No, Dionysius is a disciple of Paul.
Oh, a disciple.
Yeah.
I only know the name Dionysius as far as a Roman part of view.
From mythology.
Dionysius, the Areopagite, and I don't know what that is.
That means he a white. Excuse me.
What?
Almost. Excuse me. That he's still a pagan.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What was that?
Well, but he say that again, Harry.
What was that term you just said you didn't know what it meant?
Areopagite. Yeah, you can look that up for us. Because I don't know whether it's a religion or somebody from the town of Areopage, I don't. So, but anyway,
okay.
He was.
What I'm showing is, and this is from Wikipedia. Dionysius the Areopagite, if that's how you pronounce it, was an Athenian judge at the Areopagus court in Athens, who lived in the 1st century.
Oh, okay. So he was from Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A convert to Christianity.
Yeah, because he was a disciple. He was a disciple of Paul. So maybe now
Paul or Saul?
Paul. Saul, who turned into Paul.
Right.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I asked when you said, was he a disciple of Paul or Saul? Was he a disciple when he was Saul, or was he a disciple? He did put on that.
When he was Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Saul was a Jew.
Right.
They don't
Right.
have many. They don't have many. They don't have many pagans. They Jews don't generally convert. They don't go out for missionary work. That's usually that's usually not Jewish people that excuse me, that has been my experience anyway. I don't think I think they were always kind of separated themselves. But anyway, Dionysus, the Areopagite, he's the one that came up with these, and so obviously he was probably some type of scholar, learned person, I wouldn't mind doing just a small search to find out where did he get this information from, because around about during that time, he could have been getting books from the library from Alexandria. He could have been getting that type of wisdom and information, because why, like they said somewhere in the video, that at first it was just two categories, angels and archangels, and now with him and the information that he got, now there's 9 categories.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, and again with history, like I say, the only thing I kind of know about the name, I know it is right where you're speaking of. He is a disciple of Paul and things like that, but I don't think I think they come maybe 200 years after Paul is crucified, and and everybody dead. They are, so where they studied from and how they studied is already 200 years, of not the original language. And on top of dealing with the conquering, the Alexandria, I'm pretty sure by the time of Dionysus is burned by Alexander the Great. Yeah, that's already burned by the time. If not, I'm thinking before Alexander the Great. So, but even if it's before, you would have to say that this knowledge came from that Mediterranean Egypt side of African side of the world. It does not originate in
Oh, in Greece, no. Yeah, I mean,
it
I'm
didn't
not saying
originate
that.
there.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
it
I'm with
is.
you on where it comes from. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's just another rabbit hole, y'all. That's all. That's just another rabbit hole, because I was just, where, I'm always interested in where somebody else got the information, got their information from, so much so that the world takes notice of it and says, okay, this is what it is now. Let's talk about from the way we saw it in the video when they talked about angels, and we'll just do it upside down like that. We'll just start from 9 to 1. I said, like, the angels are the closest ones to humans, and they have more interactions with humans, say than the seraphim.
So from that, I'm kind of gathering that the Catholic faith within Christianity is more in sync, I guess, with this whole idea of the you go from one to the other kind of thing. You go up a ladder, I guess. That's the way.
The hierarchy.
Yeah, to describe
yeah, I would
it.
agree with you. Yeah, I would agree with you. just simply because, of how I was, what we learned about, all of these angels in catechism in school, so, and I have been to several Baptist churches or Protestant churches, mostly Baptist though. And I had never heard, I heard of angels, but I never, I was never, it was never discussed in their hierarchy. It was, there was not a whole lot where, in 5th grade, we had to know this stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I would kind of agree with you that is, but when you think about Paul and Peter and that, through those sects of those plus those apostles, that's really where Christianity came from.
And you know what? The only time I heard about angels, because I was brought up in the Baptist church, the only time I heard about angels at any great length was at Christmas time when they talked about the angels that visited the shepherds, and at Easter time when they talked about the angel that rolled away the stone. All, the rest of the time, I've very seldom heard anything about angels. And of course, like I said, I have always believed in angels because like I said, my very first experience was when I was between 3 and 4 years old when my grandfather passed away. And I know what I saw at that time. Of course, nobody wanted to believe me, but that's neither here nor there. I know what I saw. And now that I'm thinking about this, it's personal experiences along with what we're taught is what causes so much dissension and turmoil within the human, the nature of man. Because I mean, one has one kind of experience. This is what I know. This is what I've had. This is how I've experienced it. And you, on the other hand, have had an altogether different experiences that might even be contradictory to my experience. And then we get into a battle. And that ain't right.
Yeah. Well, ego.
Yeah, right.
Ego. And this is one of the things, like the video was saying, is that when you really pay attention to your angels, because we had out of that category of angels, that's where our guardian angels are. And I would assume, because some things, there are some things that Protestants, why they went against Catholicism. They became Protestant because they didn't want to talk about angels. They didn't want to pray to angels. They didn't want to have to, be linked up with the angels. There are certain things that Protestantism cut off from Catholicism. So then, so they wouldn't teach anything about angels or their hierarchy, because they're Protestant. They protested Catholicism, and they're different from there. So that's that point of separation there.
And to me, that's interesting because I mean, in Catholicism, and when you look at the indigenous religious customs of the Africans and the Indians, they see God, the higher power, the creator, the source, in everything.
Yeah.
And they, in turn, they worship everything. Or the worship is not exactly the right word, but they see these things and they see the mystery, I guess is the best word I can think of right now. When they look at a rock or a leaf or a flower or a tree, anything that is of natural, that man doesn't have anything to do with its productivity or its creation. And no wonder never mind.
Well, no, I understand I understand that's a big one. I got you, Miss Harry. And it is that way. And a lot of people do think on that point of view is going back to where Penn was saying, because that split between certain things is because, like, first of all, you have a majority of people who are fighting over a history that, first of all, is not theirs to begin with. It's not theirs to begin with. It was it, and on top of that, it's not theirs to begin with, that it was easier for certain people to catch the eye to say, okay, well, wait a minute, it's not ours, but I want to follow this because it's a lot better than me having to send my kids to war or laws and things like that. So it worked better for a whole bunch of people. But then also it was like, okay, well, wait a minute, we're gonna make a such thing called Christmas because we want to celebrate Zeus still. And we want to we're gonna say Easter is this day, and we're gonna do this, and it all has a certain point of view on however you look at it. Now, I'm not saying that these things are fairy tales are made up in any shape, form, or fashion, but it's also a point of view where when we look at certain things that paganism does play a part in what we're studying in a point of view, and it may seem that it's like, okay, we're speaking of this. The backgrounds from it are still Roman, because no Abrahamic religion was not conquered.
Right. And that's one of the things that was positive about Rome, is that Rome just, let you, they just simply put your best parts of your religion into our religion. Because you still gonna pay taxes to us anyway.
Yeah,
so you might as well enjoy yourself.
Okay, yeah. I don't care what you
really
worship.
Don't care what you worship, and you can put it
But
right
you
in
gonna pay
with
taxes.
us. Because that was one of the reasons that made Roman Catholicism so big around the world so quickly.
Yeah. And
until they got hold of. But anyway, let's go ahead on with the angels, y'all, because we'll be on discussing religion all day.
well, that's the point. I mean, we hear about those angels, even though we don't know that we hear about those angels. You know that an angel was the one who told Mary that she was going to have Jesus. There was a messenger that came down. We know that there was someone who came down to tell Moses. We know somebody came down and tell Noah, like, okay, y'all, we about to flood this. What type of being was this? Was this a being of judgment, or was it a being of number 6? I can't think of number 6. I should have been writing this down, but I didn't.
Number 6 were the powers.
Yeah, were these the powers that came down? Which one of these messengers came down, and in which form did they come down?
Well, okay, so and that's one of the things. That's some of the things that he talked about in the video, is that they're the ones that are closest to humankind and does more work with humans are angels and the archangels. So the archangels, and they were saying he was like 2 kinds of archangels. There was the archangels, and then there was the choir of archangels. And although I guess the choir of archangels stands somewhere in between, like the the seraphim and the cherubim, so they're kind of high up, right around them, the choir of archangels. Yeah. So like Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, all of those 7 that we talked about in the book of Enoch the other day, all of those were archangels.
Okay.
Okay.
So where I'm wondering is, and then they spoke of Metatron, which from what I can understand is that Enoch became Metatron.
Right. And he became one of the seraphim.
Enoch did?
Enoch, yes. Enoch became Enoch was, Metatron is one of the seraphim.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You have a man turning into an angel.
Right, it was two. We had
Because he was taken up,
Ezekiel.
and he was taken up more than once.
I don't, oh, you talking, yeah.
Enoch,
Well, when
yeah.
when he left here, he walked with God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm assuming that a whole lot of people went into trances, and that's one of the things that angels will do. Angels will take you into the angelic realm. I mean, that's what all of, you know, that's, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that that's kind of one of the canon things that you have to do to become a saint, is how close you were to the angelic realm. And I'm just talking, you know, that's just what, you know, that's, so don't quote me on that, because I could be
agree.
wrong on that.
No,
No,
I think I agree with you, Pen. I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, even Buddha saw, you know, even Buddha saw the heavens.
yeah.
Muhammad was taken to the heavens. You know, no matter where you go, something shows you. You know, there's something higher that shows these people, these individuals, and let them know that it's something big.
And, you know, I think, you know, and although, you know, we got them, you know, separated the way they are, for me, I think that I don't think that it really probably pretty much just doesn't matter, you know, because the seraphim and the cherubim were in the heavens that night that that Yeshua was born. You know, it was the seraphim and the cherubim. So, you know, I guess it's a rare occurrence that they show up here. So I guess that's a really big deal when they actually show up here. But, you know, we have our angels and our archangels that pretty much deal with humanity on its own. Then also he mentioned the principalities. Excuse me. And the principalities are the guardian angels of large groups, from cities and nations to it says to such, oh, look at here, I'm looking at this book, it says there are guardian angels over all large groups, from cities to nations to recent human creations such as multinational corporations. See, when we just talking about that right before we started the our show, these might more accurately now be called integrating angels. So there are many of these beings involved in our planet. Later on in the book, you will be meeting one particular integrating angel who carries the pattern of uniformity. Okay, so that's just some stuff that that the book is talking about. So yeah, so the principalities govern over large nations, and I know Paul gives a list of them, and that's in one of my notes that I can't find. But Paul governs over, you know, he mentions in, I want to say, Ephesians, about the thrones, the principalities, and the powers. He mentions the ranking of those angels. So so with him, so that's kind of interesting too. So yeah, so then he mentions the powers, which is number 6, and the powers, the first order of the second sphere, because remember he was saying that there were 3, or how many 9 spheres?
Yes, 3 in each one.
3 in each one. So there are 3 spheres. Three spheres with 3 in each sphere. So this first sphere is angels, archangels, and principalities. Then you have the second sphere is the powers, the virtues, and the dominions. And the powers are the bearers of the conscience of all of humanity, the keepers of our collective history. That's interesting. So I guess maybe they're kind of like, over all of the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Okay. The angels of birth and death are in this category.
Okay.
They are, sorry, say that again.
Okay, that makes sense. As well as if we've ever heard a book of names and things like that.
They are able to draw down the energy, or draw down and hold the energy of the divine plan, the same way trees draw down energy from the sun. In this way, the powers can send all of your vision of a world spiritual network. Did that make sense? In this way, the powers can send all of you. Oh, okay. In this way, the powers can send all of you a vision of a world spiritual network. Just as you have a heart, liver, kidneys, and other organs in your body, all of the world's religions are different organs of the emerging spiritual body of this planet.
Oh, wow.
That's really interesting.
And when you think of it in that vein, they are all the parts of the body have to work together.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why do it? Never mind.
Kicking and screaming, kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming. Exactly. Okay, so the next are the virtues. The virtues, the power of another group of beings, the virtue. Oh, wait a minute. Beyond the powers are another group of beings, the virtues. They are of particular importance to you now because they are able to beam out massive levels of divine energy. As more groups of you learn to work with the virtues, there will be a greater infusion of spiritual energy available for your planet. And I do remember in the book, in the video, the guy also spoke that the virtues were the ones who contain workings of miracles. So, and that's the one thing that I wrote down that, that really caught my attention. So as we're working with our angels, especially in creating and being miracle minded, that might be a good way for us to really, begin to connect with that inner spiritual guide there. The next one are the dominions. And the dominions are the heavenly beings who govern the activities of all of the angelic groups lower than they are. So they're like the divine bureaucrats.
They're everybody probation officer. Come here, Michael, go pee in this cup.
Down on that earth for a long time.
You know you've been hanging with Biggie Smalls and them.
Oh, man.
Okay. Although they take their orders from God and rarely contact individuals, their work is still connected to our reality. Okay, so those are the dominions. So the next sphere are the thrones. In order, the third sphere is the thrones. They are the companion angels of the planets. At this time in your history, it is important for you to be aware that the particular throne, the earth angel, who is guardian over the world, whom you'll meet later. Okay, so that's something interesting. Now, to know that we are, that the thrones are over our planets. Then there's the cherubim. beyond the thrones of the cherubim. They are the guardians of light and of the stars. Remote from our plane of reality, still their light touches our lives. The divine light that they filter down from heaven. And one of the things that he was saying, that the cherubim was the one who had came down and protected the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden, because they were the ones that had the flaming swords.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, we talked about cherubim last week. Can't remember where, in what capacity we you know, in I think when we were talking about the watchers, not the watchers, you know, the in the book of Enoch, we had, you know, ended up talking about one of the cherubim.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about, but anyway, so that's kind of interesting there. It might have been about the flaming sword of the Garden of Eden. And then the last is the seraphim. The highest order of the highest hierarchy are the seraphim, the celestial beings said to surround the throne of God, singing the music of the spheres and regulating the movements of the heavens that emanate from God. Now I remember, so when you think about that, what is it, 1/3 of the stars fell?
Yeah.
When you think of that, I guess they were all manner or all category of these angels. I don't think it was just a bunch of regular angels.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So what you're saying is they came from all 9 of these categories, right?
Well, I mean, from the way that the author seems to be, and who created the hierarchy, what's his name, Penn? I can't think of it. It's the 13th.
Dionysius.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the 13th century, it kind of seems that he's speaking from that point of view. But in that point of view, you would have to say that man was created alongside of universe. So, I mean, I guess it's however you interpret it, but that's a great way to see it, that if it's 9 realms of angels in some shape, form, or fashion, and 1/3 fell, yeah, he got a hell of an army.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me to say it like that, but
hell of a yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So y'all want to watch the second part of the video?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are there any other questions or comments or anything that we want to mention?
Because my brain is working faster than I can think right now.
Okay. All right, so now wait a minute. Let me exit full screen, and I gotta go back this way, I think. I hope I'm doing this right. Oh yeah, I did it right. Okay, yay for me. Okay.
You go, girl.
I mean, did I miss it?
No. Isn't that it right there?
This is it right here. The next one, it was part 2.
No, wait, go down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. No, this the hierarchy of is this it? This isn't it, because it said
the one right down at the bottom. See where it says hierarchy of angels? That one right there. And that last one.
The last, what last one? This one?
Wait, no, go down. Slide down.
Go down or up?
Down.
Okay, this is down for me.
Okay, well, go up.
Okay. Oh yeah, right here, part 2. Yeah,
right there. That one.
In popular Jewish law and teachings, there are 9 angelic orders, ranked under 3 hierarchies: the lowest, the middle, and the highest, each hierarchy having 3 orders. Saint Ambrose and Pseudo Dionysius group these orders a bit differently, with Ambrose grouping the angels, the archangels, and the virtues as the lowest, the powers, the principalities, and the thrones being the middle, and the dominations, the cherubim, and the seraphim being the highest. With Pseudo Dionysius, however, the angels, the archangels, and the principalities belong to the lowest hierarchy. The powers, the virtues, and the dominions belong to the middle, while the thrones, the cherubim, and the seraphim belong to the highest. We shall be using the Pseudo Dionysius version in ascending order. The angels are the first in rank, the lowest of the 9 orders. They are the guardians of the human race and the messengers of the celestial realm, whose duties are to shuttle between different realms, mediating between the mundane and the divine.
Isn't this kind of what we just saw? Do y'all want to see it again? Do y'all want to see this part?
Well, in a sense, I mean, I think we've already seen this. So
I don't know. I mean, so far I haven't.
I
This
mean,
don't
if
look like
you
part
all
2 to
want-
me. Unless,
Yeah.
I mean, well, we can. It's only like 9 minutes, so it's only 8 minutes. So let's watch it. It might say
Okay.
something different.
The chiefest prince of this order is Gabriel,
She's
alongside
calling this
other
a
princes who are known as Phaleg, Adnachiel, and Chaliel. The archangels are the second in rank, higher than the order of angels. They minister and appease the Lord for the sins of the ignorant and of the righteous. The chiefest ruling prince of this order is Michael, alongside 6 other princes who are by names Gabriel, Raphael, Metatron, Barachiel, Jehudiel, and Uriel, who is also known as Phanuel. Before his fall from heaven, Lucifer was once one of the princes of this angelic order. Many Christians believe there are only 7 of these archangels, but a few sources and authorities disagree, saying the 7 are only the chiefs and princes of the order, and so they are the most famous. They say the chiefs preside over a few other archangels.
I want to tell you a story.
I don't know.
I used to believe that Jesus was
One
a
of
cat.
these days, somebody gonna have to tell me how to stop the ads.
And according to the book of
I think
Enoch,
that's just part
other
of being
archangels include
able
Zerachiel,
to.
Saltiel, Jeremiah, Baradiel, and Sidriel. According to the Testament of Solomon, they include Sabrael, Ariel, Eoth, Adonal, and Azrael. According to Pope Gregory the Great, they include Simeon, Oriphiel, and Zachariel. And according to Pseudo Dionysius, they include Shamuel, Jophiel, and Zadkiel. In the 3rd book of Enoch, it is said that each of the 7 archangel princes is accompanied by a whooping 496,000 myriads of ministering angels. The 3rd in rank are the principalities, higher than the archangels. They are the protectors of religion, who watch over the leaders of the people and inspire them to make the right decisions. The ruling princes of this order are known as Raquel, Haniel, Serviel, and Nisroch. The 4th in rank are the powers, higher than the principalities, and their principal task is to see that order is maintained on the heavenly pathways. They stop the efforts of demons, who would overthrow the world. The powers preside over demons, and the chiefest prince of this order is Samael, alongside Gabriel, Vachiel, and Lucifer, before his fall. It is said that the powers were the first created angels, and they have an inclination towards evil, a tendency to become evil. The 5th in rank are the virtues, higher than the order of powers. Their primary duty is to work miracles in the mundane realm. They are the bestowers of grace and valor, and the ruling princes of this order are Michael, Raphael, Barbiel, Uriel, Peliel, and Lucifer before his fall. The sixth in rank are the dominions, higher than the virtues. They regulate the duties of angels and aspire to true lordship. It is through the dominions that the majesty of God is manifested. And the ruling princes of this order are Zadkiel, Hashmal, Zachariel, and Muriel. The thrones are the seventh in rank, higher than the dominions or dominations. It is through the thrones that God brings his justice upon the human race. And the ruling princes of this angelic order are Zebukiel, Oriphiel, and Zaphkiel. The eighth in rank are the cherubim, higher than the thrones. They symbolize God's highest potencies, sovereignty, and goodness. The Jews say they are the many-eyed charioteers of God, the bearers of his throne, and the personification of the winds.
Sleep Number smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Visit sleepnumber.com to shop now.
I'm really sorry. I didn't think it would end up like this.
The word cherubim is of Assyrian and Akkadian origin, which means the one who prays or the one who intercedes. And in ancient Assyrian art, the cherubim are depicted as huge winged creatures with human bodies and faces of men, lions, bulls, sphinxes, and eagles, and were usually placed at entrances to palaces or temples as guardian spirits. In the Old Testament of the Christian Bible, however, the cherubim are described as angels of flaming fire, wielding flaming swords, which rotate like wheels, for it was the cherubim who, with their flaming swords, guarded the tree of life and the Garden of Eden. The chiefest prince of this order is Cherubiel, alongside Gabriel, Aphaniel, Raphael, Uriel, Zophiel, and Lucifer before his fall. The ninth in rank are the seraphim, the highest of all the orders. They surround the throne of God in all their glory, and unceasingly praise his name. They are the angels of love, of light, and of fire. And according to the book of Enoch, there are only 4 seraphim, corresponding to the 4 winds of the world. They are by names Jehoel, Seraphiel, Metatron, and Michael, with the chiefest prince being Michael, some say Jehoel. Before his fall from heaven, Lucifer was the ruling prince of the seraphim. And after his fall, he was replaced by Michael, some say Jehoel.
Okay, well, what do y'all think about that one?
Well, it definitely gave a little bit more background.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, till it was, the orders was reversed.
Well, I mean, she said she was gonna start like from the lowest to the highest.
Right. Yeah.
So she just didn't call them 9, she just called them 1.
You know, it definitely gave a lot more background, and it also seemed that it clarified something for me, that a certain angel is not just prone to one point of view. You know, even though that Gabriel was an angel, he was also an archangel. Even though Michael was an archangel, he was also an angel. He was also he also had a responsibility to a higher judgment as well. So until they got to certain points of views, but that would be a good thing to, that interests me into studying it. How they work, how that hierarchy moves, and I guess it has also has to do with the disruption from Lucifer as well, because it seemed like that broke a lot down when that fall happened.
Yeah, because Lucifer he's pretty much like all of the angels. He was an
Yeah, he was
a principality, he was a power, he was a virtue.
He was involved in all of them, I think.
All of them, yeah. And didn't turn out to find out he was the head of the seraphim until he fell. So, you know, one of the, you know, what they say, the devil is a liar. So all of that, none of that might be true.
Well, yeah,
it also goes power corrupts, absolute power. Absolutely.
That's exactly what came to my mind. That's exactly what I thought about.
Yeah, but it is interesting how they kind of like merge together. You know, we can't see them as like, you know, like we can't see them like in the office building where one is on the 9th floor, one is on the 3rd floor, on the 1st floor. You know, because they all kind of everything. Well, that just goes to prove that everything is one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Imagine racism with the angels.
but this is one of the things that I still have not found yet, is what made them fall. What made them fall? If
I think, I mean, the way that, from what we were just studying, you know, I'm guessing, you know, God was creating, and it was like, well, give us something that we can control with creating. And he asked, and God said, no, this is what I do. And he was like, okay, well, we'll do it on our own. I mean,
so where did you find? I mean, you heard that in this? Where'd you get that from?
I'm personally speaking. As far as looking at it from what we're just listening to, and the way that the hierarchy went. You know, Lucifer had his hands in everything. You know, he demanded power, and when he didn't get it,
he caused chaos.
Yeah. You know,
and you know, the other thing too, Andre, well, we talked about this when we were discussing the book of Enoch, how the angels, you know, some of them, you know, came to earth and were corrupted, so to speak.
So is that there is the concept of the fall of angels the same concept like the fall of man, where we are you know, descending from one level of our highest spiritual consciousness into our ego?
In a sense, yes. I mean, I've heard, I mean, I've seen quotes and I've heard things where the angels, where Lucifer gathered the angels together because God asked him to bow to his greatest creation, which was man, and Lucifer was like, no, I'm made of fire, he's made of dirt, we not bowing. I've heard certain stories like that. I mean, it just, me personally, I would have to do a little bit more studying to say, okay, I feel this is that piece, but I really think it had to do with the corruption of power. You know, the vanity and the love that was actually shown upon, that God showed upon his creation. That,
yeah, because actually that's the same thing with Adam and Eve. They were also seeking power and also seeking power. Yeah.
You know, the only difference is it's saying that we were corrupted into it by a serpent. And, you know, most people say, well, it was Satan, you know, this, that, or is the devil, or Lucifer is the snake, or however you want to say it. But it was also known, like, y'all have everything that y'all have. You know, I think when they say that, you know, God came looking for Adam and Eve, it wasn't that he necessarily, once again, most people say this, that it wasn't that he couldn't find them, he couldn't recognize them because they were trapped in mortal bodies. They were trapped in, they disobeyed, and that spirit, that light got trapped in the bodies that we see as what we know in these bodies now. So spirit got trapped in these bodies. That's how but that's me, you know, making a hypothesis. So very,
So,
you know.
So yeah, so it is the example that caused, when I'm saying us, I mean humans, the slip from higher consciousness into the ego mind. And I guess that is a level of, you know, where we have to regain our sense of equilibrium, because we were powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, not only were, we are powerful. We already are powerful. We are, you know, we create just the same as you know, as creation. It might, you know, it might not seem as immediate, but it is.
It's a means to survive. It's a creation of a means to survive where we are, because we don't know where we are. That's the only reason. I mean, personally, that's the only reason I see that we overcreate or miscreate or misuse our creations, is because we don't know where we are. And and again, that ego, and most people take ego as I'm tough, I'm rough, and I can do it on my own. Most of ego is fear. You know, the most dangerous person in the world is the scared person. You know, so ego is not that point of view of that fall. It's being able to actually be naked, as once again, since we're still speaking biblically, is being naked. It wasn't that they hid themselves because they were afraid of God. They hid themselves because they were ashamed that they were naked. That's why he asked them, "Who told you naked?"
Right.
Who told you? How do you mean?
They had lost they had lost
Because,
their inner light, or
yeah, you know, you
mm-hmm.
were ashamed of me seeing you in the body that you chose to be in. Oh, wait a minute, you chose this body. What you been eating? Come here, let me smell your breath, boy.
But I think
You been
that
over
is
there
really
hanging out with that snake. Didn't I tell you don't go over there hanging out with that snake? Well, she said, oh, here we go. You know, I mean,
blaming somebody else.
And it's the way that it is. And as far as where we are when it comes to angels, or the fall from certain angels, some, you know, you can sometimes you can help, and then when that path started, I don't think anybody knew what that path was going to be. So some tried to help, and some, and it made matters worse. As far as the fallen angels in the book of Enoch, I think that they were falling not to rule mankind, but to do something good, to better, but it just made things worse.
right. But go ahead.
And it's more or less of and it dumbed us down, and it made us further away from creation than what they could ever be. And that's the punishment. Like, you know, they have to accept that they pushed us, God's greatest creation, further away, you know, than what they are to him. You know, So I mean, just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, that's,
I'm gonna leave that rabbit hole alone.
Yeah, well, we love a rabbit hole. We love a rabbit hole. Yeah, so this is the thing that, but I also see that we can use the symbology of each angel. The angels, the archangels, the principalities, the powers, all the way up to reconnect with that highest level of consciousness, and when and that is one of the purposes that I can see, that when we are working with our angel guides or our spirit guides or whatever, not to be expecting like an entity, but the quality. We use the quality of the powers. I thought it was kind of interesting that he says that the powers is that is that turning point where you is that point between the good and the evil, so to say, because they see the second video was saying that the powers has a tendency to become evil. So that's where I guess that that's that part where we have to make, that's that decision making part, but we have to decide whether we're going to be whether we're going to grow higher or fall lower throughout our levels of consciousness. But we can use each one of these as principles or as guidelines or however, to reach that higher level of consciousness, where we would be like the seraphim and just sing holy, holy, holy all day. It kind of sounds boring from this perspective, but can you imagine being caught up in that much joy and not be joyful always, constantly? And
I mean, that's a good job. That's a great job.
That's a really, really good job.
This guy going, hey man, watch what I create right here. Pow!
Holy, holy, holy. That's what we do all day.
It's a mantra.
Yes, a mantra.
James,
Yes. Yeah.
Hey y'all, guess who I got to sing background for y'all today? James Brown in the house. Y'all, come on, get
it. Can you imagine? Yeah, just imagine that. So, and this is one of the things that, because it's 3:30, and one of the things that I would hope that we can maybe do is focus on, let's give ourselves 5 minutes to focus on one of these levels and to bring them into our level of consciousness. And
did they name those levels, the 3 levels? Did they give a label or a name?
No, they're just called spheres.
Oh, okay.
The only, that just one sphere is the I guess the lowest, because it's closest to humanity, closest to the manifest. That's either whichever one you want to listen to. There's either the ninth realm or the first one, whichever one that you want to see the angels as. And then the second sphere, it's that middle sphere where I guess the angels themselves maybe can go back and forth, and maybe that's that sphere, the second realm, is where Enoch was. Because they said the highest sphere, because Enoch was not in that realm with God, right? Correct, Andre? Yeah, so maybe Enoch rose from the first sphere, which is closest to humanity, closest to the manifest. The middle sphere, that's kind of, I guess, kind of like a bumper or a buffer, between the highest and the lowest. And and then then there's that highest one that is the divine realm. But I guess if we were looking at that, it would be like mind, body, and soul. You know, with the body being the manifest, the mind is our consciousness, and our, you know, and our soul is the highest realm.
Highest rank, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the things that they talked about in the second part, was how that number 3 related to our Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. So what do y'all think? Would you like to do a little meditation, little silent meditation for a couple of minutes? I don't have my phone. Wazion has my phone, so he's
No, maybe I can pull up. Wait, let me see if I can pull up my.
I guess I could do it on my computer, but I'm afraid I'm gonna cut everybody off.
Wait, I might be able to do it on my phone. Let me see.
Okay. I guess I just go back to screen share. I don't know. I don't want to mess with it.
If I can find it. Oh, there they go.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, no.
I had to do that experiment some other time.
What's that?
To see if I could do it on my computer.
Oh.
Do the timer on my computer.
I can't find a clock on my whatchamacallit.
Oh, well, shoot, you ain't no better than I am.
Okay. Oh man. I can't find the clock on my phone.
I know. I don't know. But you know that I tell you, sometimes I cannot figure out how those
Wait, let me see if I can find it. I know I can find it on my tablet.
calendar.
Huh?
Apps. I was just looking for my phone. Oh, here it is, the clock. I found it.
What, on your computer?
I found it. I did.
Oh.
I tell you what, I'm a computer wizard. Oh,
yes,
well.
you are.
Nope, don't let me start the bragging, because now I don't know what's happening. This is saying a streak and
okay. You said 5 minutes.
Yeah, this man, I got this thing on my computer. I don't know how to get it off.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, let me.
Oh shoot.
See, you ain't no better than I
am. Okay, 5. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, I got it.
Okay, you got it? Okay, because
yeah.
I don't even know how to get this off my screen now.
Okay.
Oh, that's the way. That's how to get it off. Okay, yeah, for 5 minutes. Let's you know, one thing, I can have some music. I can do some music in the background.
Okay.
I can do that. Share. Well, oh shoot, yeah, I got the daggone clock still up here because I don't know. Yeah. Me, I don't know what I don't. Oh, I think I got to go here.
Oh.
Oh no, okay. Well, we just don't have no. Wait a minute.
Where's the little red X?
Every time I started to share, the clock came back up.
Oh.
And I'm not. Oh, because I'm not trying to do. I'm trying to do something else. Okay, I see what I'm supposed to. I see what I have to do. And that's what I should have done. Let me get rid of this here first. To get out of here. Put that off. There we go. Okay. All right. I think I got it now. There we go. Okay. Tell me I don't know how to do a computer. I'm like, where's at the computer?
Yes, you are.
As long as y'all got time and patience to deal with me. Oh, I wanted to go back to YouTube. Find frequency vibration.
You can find a lot of them. I said you can find a lot of them on YouTube.
Yeah, if my computer will catch up. Okay, let's see. Angel vibration. Angel vibration frequency. There we go. Here we go. Hold on a second. I gotta yell at Moazian. Okay, it's still raining here, and he is stuck in the house. It sounds like it's the cat in the hat down there. The cat in the hat. All of them down there.
Is he by himself?
Yeah. He probably got some angels down there that he messing with. Okay, so there's a 111 hertz spiritual hug of an angel, and let's do, how about the 999, the vibration of fifth dimension. Which one y'all want?
Let's do that one, fifth dimension, the 999.
Okay, let's do this one. And we'll start this for 5 minutes, and we'll see which. So the whole purpose is to see which one,
I couldn't have done it without you.
You wouldn't even know where to look without me.
He's
Okay.
in my head. I have to be in his
Okay,
head.
ready?
Yes. You can start now.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. So how did everybody feel in that meditation?
To me, it was indescribable.
Did you feel in alignment with any one of the angelic realms?
Not necessarily with the realm, but Michael kept coming at me.
Well, Michael was in several of the realms. I know, first of all, I know he's an archangel, but also with this, we found out that he was part of the seraphim.
He was in several of the, and I think his presence was in all of the realms, really, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, especially by being one of the so it says here, he's an archangel and one of the seraphs. What about you, Andre?
I can't say that I connected. I took some time to reflect and to think about a lot of the attributes a lot of the classes had, and where I see myself fitting in. I got a couple and I didn't. Some were hit and miss to me. But I can't really say I got a connection. But it's just such a fascinating conversation that I would like to know more. I would like to go deeper.
Definitely.
The realm that I mostly connected with was the thrones. That was the one that came to me more so. And the thrones were, let's see, which one were the thrones? The thrones, let's see, the thrones have to do with the companion angels of the planets. So yeah, that's the one that kept coming back to my awareness was the thrones. Yeah. So well, that's it for the class for the day. And so so just think about, of course, you saw them on YouTube. If you need to go back, please do. Go back to the Hierarchy of Angels. We did 1 and 2. I don't remember the names of the was the myth discovery of
mythology or something like that.
Something like the discovery of mythology. So if you all want to go back and find out more about them or that group, please do. But I think that one of the things that I found. So we'll start the round table, and I'll go first since I'm already putting my foot in it. I think that one of the things that I got from today's class is how everything that we are learning relates to my individual success of spiritual awakening, and just thinking on angelic realms and those three spheres those three spheres, how I can operate and live in that, from all of the classes that I'm doing and all of the other works that I'm doing, and just in my thoughts and in my prayers, I can use this energy to understand not only more about myself, but about the spiritual world, and help the our evolution in the meantime. In that, I don't know how, but I feel that by my being more in alignment, my being more aware, my being more willing to know more, is me heading to me allowing the evolution to expand. So I guess that's the best way that I can explain it right now. Anybody else? What did y'all get from the class, and how can you apply it to your lives?
Well, for me, this was very enlightening. And it just shows me that it makes me want to go deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole of angels. And I don't see it as a rabbit hole. I see it as a climbing out of a rabbit hole into enlightenment, really.
Mm.
And the one of the things, I should say, not the one thing, but one of the things that I got out of today's session was how, and I think as far as numbers is concerned, in Christianity, the whole idea behind the philosophy of Catholicism is practiced in so many indigenous cultures, whether we're talking about the European cultures, the African cultures. I'm not that familiar with Asian cultures and philosophy, but I'm sure that the whole idea of God and the Creator is in everything, and not some ogre out there in space that's looking down to rain hell and fire and brimstone on us when we do wrong or when we err. It's just that, and I think we need to, as members of the human race, all of us, every one of us, the billions of us that live on this planet, need to take the time to stop and be grateful and be appreciative of what we have, what we are exposed to, what we are being given, and to take care of what we have been put in charge of.
Very good, Harriet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. How about you, Andre? What did you get from today's class, and how can you apply it to your life?
What can I say that you all have not already said?
But I'm sure you're gonna find some words, because you are absolutely a wordsmith.
Yes,
really. Today, from what I've gotten, is that 3 is a magic number. If you break it down and you look at yourself in so many ways of mind, body, and soul, you can understand yourself from so many different points of views of these 3 hierarchies that we have discussed today. We can be close to one another and be an angel for one another, or be a leader and be an archangel at the same time. And we can go from there to be, someone's judge, jury, and executioner, and let them understand from that point of view. We also have the compassion of the hierarchy, where we are thrones and we are singing holy, 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 and we do see so many beautiful and precious things. I think it's just to combine them all to be aware of it is a hell of a goal and a beautiful task to try to reach. So it's something that will definitely boost me to keep me in mind of what's going on and what's to come.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. Well, that's the end of today's class. I think that probably when we speak about angels, because we have 2 more sessions today, we finish up with angels in June. So we have 1 more class in May, and we finish up with angels in June. So I was thinking that maybe we do the demons next month. If y'all wanted to talk about demons, or what do y'all want to talk about angels about? What do y'all want to know about? What should we look up for the angels?
I think we could,
I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I think we could just kind of continue it and see if we can find anything as far as any other religion that speaks of angels, and as well as other entities.
Okay, so other angels and other religions. Yeah, so y'all might have to help me out with that, because I have been looking and I really haven't found much information about that.
Which a lot of things will probably run into a lot of certain things where you were speaking as far as demons. A lot of the pantheon of old gods were reduced to demons when people were conquered. So I think that would be an interesting subject to see how how that pantheon has risen and fallen within society as well.
And I was thinking that maybe in June, when we finish the class, we really do some inner angel work, where we are, trying to connect with, our angel.
Our guardian angel, or
our guardian angel, or any angel who we come in contact with.
whoever answered the phone.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't know who my guardian angel is.
Y'all gonna mess around, make me get that guy. Y'all gonna mess around, make me get that angel that Richard Pryor got. God's busy right now. We gotta put you on hold.
Please leave a message after following week.
I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
We can look for our guardian angel, our guides, our angel guides, our spirit guides. What I'm really working with is this book I got many years ago, and I don't even know when I got it, because I didn't even. It must have been. I didn't even write my name, and I always write my name and the date of the book, but I never wrote that down in this book, so I don't know how long I've had this book.
What's the name of it?
It's called Ask Your Angels.
Oh, okay.
And it is by Alma Daniel, Timothy Wiley, and Andrew Raymer.
Okay.
So that's where I get. So this is where I'm getting a lot of this information from.
Okay.
And, so I was thinking that probably at the end, we see how we connect with our angels, how we work with our angels, and maybe we can at least maybe once a month or so, at some point in time, especially when we hear things like shootings and stuff. What can, find out, what can we do about such dramatic things in our nation, especially that where our angels can be involved and move some things and make something happen. Andre and I were talking just the other day and said we would like to have one day where, you know, nothing happens. There's no negative news to report, nothing but good news all day, you know, so.
Well, that would be a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what
Paradise.
yes, that's what we use our angels for, you know, so let's learn how to work with our angels, our guardian angels and our spirit guides. And we can, this is another thing that we can, you know, just include in our repertoire of our spiritual growth. So
it does, but it shouldn't amaze me as to how the many facets of this whole idea of metaphysics that we're studying and how they all weave together into a beautiful cloth or make a great tossed salad.
Yes,
yes.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so tomorrow we have journal group, and we'll figure out something from that. What we'll do for tomorrow for journal group. Wednesday we have A Course in Miracles from 5 to 6:30. Excuse me. Thursday we have Forest at 11 a.m. and we're gonna be and from 7 to 8:30, Sakina's one, you know, two people from Sakina's group. I think she mentioned two people the other day. She
Yes,
had just
she did.
mentioned that are going to come and speak to us about Gnosticism. We, you know, so we have some interesting questions that we can ask about Gnosticism and how that works. And you know, if that might be something we might want to you know, incorporate, you know, as far as, you know, our understanding and our learning, or some, you know, other people that we can have come back to the group on a regular basis, you know, in a loop. And then on next Saturday, on the 8th, we have Hiearchy, excuse me, and the chakras, and you know, you should be, you know, telling us about the healing of the chakras. Healing with the chakras, I'm sorry. So and that's pretty much it for next week. What's going to be going on from April the 2nd to April the 8th. So any questions or comments, or
just don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube channel.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, would anyone like to close out in prayer? I think
I'll do it.
You do it? Okay, thank you.
Let us sit back, sit tall, take in a full, deep, cleansing breath. And as we exhale, exhale all of the negativity that might be in our bodies and our souls. And let us be grateful for the session that we've had today in looking at angels. Let us use this knowledge and understanding to enhance our lives and to make us better vessels of our Creator. Making our homes, our communities, our nation, and the universe a peaceful and joyful place to exist. Let us send light and love to all who have suffered any kind of chaos. And let us be grateful and use the wisdom and the knowledge that we gain in our sessions to help and assist and aid others in their own special journey. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much. Great class today, everybody. I enjoyed it.
I did too.
And actually, I'm starting to feel much better.
Good.
Feeling good coming in, but I'm feeling much better now. Have a little bit of energy.
Good. Very good.
All right, everybody.
Bye all.
Bye. Love you. Bye.